guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. So today's video, as you can see from the title, I'm addressing living alone life in uni for the first time. Maybe you are joining uni and you want to know about this navigating living alone, so I will live in the hostel in the beginning, with a couple of people, and the is find a cheaper house. Want to start living alone. If you can't find a cheaper house, because I know it depends with where your school is, houses are quite expensive, find a friend to live with. And that's why I say that live in the hostel for the first time. At least then you'll have found a friend who you'll be like, hey, we can move out together, like you start living together. But if you're not if you are someone who is so particular in living alone like me, then you'll want to live alone, and then find a cheaper house. Find a cheaper house that will work with you, that you can afford, that won't give you stress in paying. Don't be afraid to make it home. Decorate your space. Be creative with it. For me, I just never cared. Like I said in the previous video, if you've watched it, crib bora nilale and I go to class, I'm just fine. Please make your space home. Like, make it lovely. Make it you. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid of the distance from school to the house. For me, I was so much afraid. I wanted to look for a house. I lived in a house that was just so close to the school, and that meant that it is more expensive. The further the houses, the cheaper they are. So don't be afraid. But for me, I think I was just lazy in walking to school every day, especially when you have a 7 a.m. class and you have to like wake up early. As women, like preparing is just another battle, So just don't be afraid to go further from school. I mean, at your class, you still have notes, you still revise. Like, just have no stress in university life. Just don't stress yourself, okay? Don't be afraid to move places, explore other areas. Like, you can find a bigger house in a cheaper price, or in the same price in the smaller house that you are living with. For example, I was living in a single room. That tour, again, I will link it up here. That single room was $3,500 per month. Yet, the further away, like I've said, you find cheaper houses or in the same price. There is a bed sitter in the same price, just a little bit further from school. But I was too lazy in exploring. I just don't know. I was such a boring personality in uni. Like, that one, we cannot even fight about it. Like, I have accepted. We move on. just explore. Like, you will find cheaper places. You can even find, we used to have like a bed sitter like 4K. It has hot shower, it has everything. I hope the wind is not interfering that much, but yes. Next tip is in finances. By the time you are in, you've lived outside the first semester, you should have a budget that works for you. For me, I used to spend, like, let's say in groceries, like I would buy groceries in the beginning of the semester worth like 2,000 Kenyan shillings towards 3,000 Kenyan shillings, and it would last me forever. Like, the next time I would be doing shopping would be just once within the semester, and maybe ile tumboga ya kila siku, like skuma ya 10 bob, like the perishable ones. Like, for me, I knew how to budget myself. Nilikuwa nimezoea kujifinyilia, so I know how to use as little as possible. I know how to suffer myself. I know how to be hard on myself when it comes to buying food. I used to cook like 1 meal in a day plus breakfast, so maybe 2. I just cook once, like a proper meal once in a day. I will eat it at night, I eat it in the morning, then maybe in the midday I will come and cook again, I eat it, and then the next. Like, cooking was just not my thing. And I didn't have the money to waste in buying food in school. One of the reasons I even wanted to live like near school is, like, between classes I would rush back to the house and go like eat something, then come back, because I just didn't want that stress of buying food. Like, it is expensive to buy food. I experienced it in first year while living in the hostels. Like, buying food is more expensive than cooking for yourself. So that was one of the reasons I just didn't want to move further away from school. And I love sleep and eating, so I would rush back to the house between classes, sleep, then go to the next class. It was just like 10 minutes walk to class. Next is buy appliances and furniture just as you can. And don't feel bad about it if you can't afford any appliances or things like fridge and stuff. If you live with someone, it will be easier. But again, unajua wasichana uko sana. I saw those things in campus. Alafu you start thinking how you will split. Okay, if you can live alone, it is luck. Like, it is a blessing to find yourself living alone comfortably. So if you can't afford, don't feel bad about it. Like, as long as you can buy mboga ya kila siku hapo hivyo and you survive, you fine, you good. Okay, get to decide early that once you finish school, where will you take your items? Will you sell them? Will you give them away? Which I hope not, because they were fucking expensive. Or will you move to the area that you want to establish yourself in? You know, for me, I didn't, and make sure you start saving early for that process of moving. Because imagine kuhamisha a whole house to another, like from Embu to Nairobi, it costs like 15k, I think. Yeah, like a full house. So you start saving early. For me, I was just living the way I was living. I had no plan. I was just like, me, I'm living Sai, tomorrow will sort itself out. And then when I finished school, it became another big problem. I was thinking how nitahamisha vitu. I wanted to establish myself in Embu, which was just another trouble. So all my stuffs of the house are still there. So if I just want to go back there, which I'm definitely working towards, I still have all my house appliances. I didn't sell anything. I gave them to a friend or to me. So, you know, I'll just go get them back. So no, once you're going to live out, vitu zako utapeleka, I would advise, yeah, and even if you will move them back home, I would advise, like, start establishing yourself in that area. That's if it's around like opportunities. Start hustling mapema, start finding jobs around that area. Si lazima ikuwe office job, just hustle. Start business orienting things, like while you're still in uni, explore that. Zoea kujipea do, you know. So for me, I didn't. That's why it's kind of difficult right now, but it's a journey. So next is be protective of your space, who you let come in, who you let go. Cause this Nairobi is not even safe. Like, people will steal your stuff. Your friends watakuibia hao, watakuvunjia nyumba. So be protective of who you let in. Especially me ni mtu niko very specific who I'm letting in. So it was easier for me. I didn't allow people into my space unless I wanted to, unless I've invited you. I didn't want wageni, sijaipeta wageni. Unless nime plan, because it will give me so much anxiety. And sorry for the noise that unasikia mtaani. Just take care of who you bring to your house. Thank me later. Tip I said is living in a flexible place where there are no restrictions. I wrote that because where I was living, yes, I was renting outside, but then after some time, it was named like a hostel. So meaning hostels have restrictions. Usiishi kwa hostel. I mean, you're going to live, it will have restrictions. Like ours had like sijui partying, it was not allowed, which I loved because me seemed to a partying, but it restricted others. And it's campus life. I mean, you need, like when a student, like you should be umechangamka doing things, like living life, you know what I mean? Like in your 20s, you should be doing all the shitty nutty things, you know. Be responsible though. So yeah, ours had that restriction. And ours also had a restriction of you have to pay rent like per semester. So like all the 4 months, you pay them once ukiingia in that house. And something funny is many people live there, I think because it was near to school. Like it's those stupid restrictions, by the way. Ati you can't live more than 3 people in a house. Hata beshte alikuwa kuja kitendo nasikia kiateka kwa mlango. Ati juu ameona slippers sijui pia 3 kwa mlango. Aki that man had madogodhani. It was just, he was an old man. I don't blame him. So find a flexible place. Usiishi place unakaziwa. Mimi nilikuwa naishi hiyo place. See, I didn't have any problem, but it was just not making sense. I would have moved out, but I was too lazy. So move if you have to move. Explore other areas just near your school. You know, yeah. Get to have new neighbors, new friends. I think that is how you also find new people in your life. Like being social. I wish someone told me all these things. Vile nawaambia, singekuwa such a lonely child sahi. You know, sahi ningekuwa mabisho na kutolea form juu kwa ule mtu wa watu. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, it's God and me now. Sasa tutadu. We move regardless. Anyway, I really hoped those two simple tips that nobody tells you zitafunza mtu, zita help someone. So send it to someone who's in uni, someone who's going to uni, someone. Yeah, it's August. People should be joining uni, our next first years. Share this video to them and I'll be so thankful. Anyway, that is it. Make sure you comment down below any more tips you have, any extra tips or advice. Also, when you move out, jua ni nani atalipa rent. You know, if you're alone, have a way you will pay it. If your parent is paying you, the better. People are not the same. Bye and thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.